Hey everybody, this is Sue Craig, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Cleveland, Ohio, and today I have a Christmas card for you. Here's the Christmas card that we are going to make. And what I did on this Christmas card is I embossed the designer paper. Now we don't typically do that, but I wanted to show the gals that come to class another thing that you could do with designer paper. This is gorgeous designer paper. It certainly doesn't need extra things added to it, but I wanted to show them another thing they could do with their embossing folders. I also have used my dies, and I'll show you exactly what we need to do this card. I stamped this card with Joyful Tidings. I liked this set because this set has half a wreath that could be made into a Christmas or not Christmas, and this could be made into a fall wreath. I made a card with that one too, with a Thanksgiving greeting, but I liked how that turned out as well. So this isn't just a holiday stamp set, which is really nice. So we used that stamp set. We're going to be using the traditional sparkling sequins. What little girl wouldn't want these, right? I showed my 3-year-old granddaughter. Oh, she loved them. I want them, Grandma. The paper that we're using is the gorgeous Traditions of Christmas. It has the beautiful gold on the one side, and then it has the a plainer paper on the back, which was nice for me. If you wanted to make a Thanksgiving card in my class, then you used the other side, which worked out beautifully. So that is one beautiful set of paper, and this one is in the holiday catalog. The dies that I used are Spotlight on Nature, and they have 2 different sets that come together. I had the ladies punch out their own little holes here because I was not going to do that for every single person in class. I know. Okay. So here's what they got in their envelope. I made bows for everybody. Your card base is Old Olive, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then you have a white circle, which is 3 inches, and then a red one, which is about 3 1/4 inches. Okay. And you can see right here, some of these have been punched out, some have not. You can go ahead and take your pick tool, but the trick I learned a while ago, this is years ago, is to take your scissors and just pull them along the openings, and they will punch out most of the things that are stuck in there. You can also use your brush. You know, we have the brush that will take these things out with the take your pick tool, but most of the people in my class don't have that kind of thing, so I wanted to show them something that they could use that they would have readily available. So you can see that did not take very long at all to take those out. Of course, now I have these things all over the place, and I'll be doing a lot of vacuuming later. All right. So we're going to put these aside for right now. We want this because we're going to be stamping our greeting inside, and then we want the white. When I stamp on a white circle, when I put it down like this, sometimes it's very difficult to see where that circle ends, and so I like to place it on something dark. So for this, I put it on the Old Olive card base. We're going to use Old Olive to do our stamping. Many times when I'm stamping with people in class, I tell them that they may have a better image and a better view of the image if they stand up. Totally up to them. But I like to stand up, especially when I have small areas like this circle. I'm going to place this stamp close to the left side and push down. Okay. And then I'm going to put a sentiment for the front. The one I'm using is "May the wonder and magic of Christmas fill you with delight." And then I'm going to leave the inside blank because I want to figure out what I want to say in there. Sometimes on my cards I write a catch-up letter so people know what's going on with our family, and sometimes I just put a sentiment in there. So I want to leave it available to do whatever I need to do. Then I took a sponge dauber with the real red ink and I just colored the edge here. And I didn't even re-ink it. There's plenty of ink on these usually, so that you don't have to dip it in the ink again. This is a quick, easy card. We're going to take our designer paper and I put it through using my Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. When you're using a 3D embossing folder, whether you're using the Big Shot or the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you're going to need our platform 1, and then you're going to need our specialty plate, which is plate 4. Okay, this will work with either of those machines. So that's what I used to put it through to get this. And what I'd like to do is to put this through. This is a 4x6 piece of paper. I like to put the whole sheet 4x6 through, and then what I do is I take it over to my cutter and I'll cut it down to 5 1/4 so it fits inside of my card or on the outside of my card. And then I can use the piece that I've cut off for the inside of my card. So let's go ahead and put this together. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this. I like to pick this up and hold it so that it's easier for me to line up all the way around. And I liked that this didn't have a very large circle or amount of red around the whole outside. It was just the right amount. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals on the back. I like to have things raised up. It brings attention to them. On this, I also used a metallic red pen to do the berries. Now, this is a gel pen, so you want to not touch the berries until this is dry, and then it won't smear, but it will smear if you touch it beforehand. Okay. I also put the gems on it. A lot of times when I do the gems, I like to kind of highlight the words that I have. It's totally up to you, you know, what you do. I also liked that in this pack of gems that they had the pretty blue color, because in this paper you have the blue and it's not a typical Christmas color. So I loved that it was a different combination of colors, not typically just the red and the green. I liked that they had the gold in it as well. I could have done those berries in gold. Some people did that in my class. All right, we might as well, if we're decorating this card, we might as well go ahead and get our glue dots and add our bow. Now you can add it anywhere you like. I liked it on the side because that's where this was. So I'm just going to put the glue dot behind the bow and then add it to my card. Okay, now that I've covered up this thing, I may want to move this one. There we go. And keeping in mind that I don't want to smear that red gel pen. So we're going to take our card base and we're going to add our adhesive to the back of this pretty paper. I like to hold the two corners, two opposite corners. Okay, and I like to turn it sideways, which makes it easier for me. What I also did on this inside piece, because it was so white, I added some ink to this as well, just to soften it a bit. I don't typically do this on my cards, and certainly if I was making a lot of these, I don't know that I would do this for all of them, but that's another thing that you can do with that. Now the piece that I cut off the bottom here of my designer paper, I'm just going to add adhesive to and add that to the bottom down here as well. Okay. Now because I don't know what I want to put on here yet, if I'm going to stamp it or not, what I typically do is I will just set that inside, because we know if we make a mistake we can turn it over and try again. So that's how I'm going to leave this one. But what I want to do now then is to finish up by adding this piece to my card. And again, I'm trying to stay away from the gel pen. I know I should have put it on last, and if you're smart, that's what you'll do. All I did now was just to center this. And now you have a beautiful Christmas card. Well, I hope you liked this card, and I hope you give it a try. And thanks for watching.